What a big lull. What an enormous, gigantic, big lull. Lull. Tra-la-la-la-la. So apparently, Fulton County, Georgia, got a hold of their first 147,000 that they're examining. And something like within about the first hour, they already identified 100 identical copied duplicates. We're not talking duplicated ballots that were remade because they couldn't be read. We're talking about different ballot numbers in different batches that have identical handwriting on write-ins for the same candidates. In one case, Kanye West and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They had several of them where you could see that it was obviously the same X's that were written on the dot spots, and there were obviously the literally identical places where the humanized circling filling goes outside the circle in the exact same spot on the exact same selections, but they are numbered different ballots from different batches. These are not accidentally took a picture of the same one twice. This is intentionally took a picture of the same one twice. Or more than that. So, ooh boy, yeah, they have literally only just gotten started, and already they've found some pretty huge issues. Now, don't forget, you got Ruby and what's her name, Lachey, what was her name? I can't remember. And they had Ruby on Instagram. She deleted, but archives exist. The internet is forever. Of her talking about looking at Georgia sideways because the black and brown people down there voted for the one other orange-red dude. I'm being really careful for the algorithm's sake. They voted for that guy in record numbers, and she was so pissed about it, and they had to do something to undo it to ensure the proper outcome. Oh boy. They've already found 100 instances of literal identical copy duplication. Once they get these into a high resolution scan and use computer algorithms to identify identical copies, it's going to be unquestionable. On that topic, in somewhat related fashion, on the other side of the country in Arizona, you've got the preliminary results being visible to certain people with privilege that are able to see, and they've already ordered a manual recount of the number of ballots just to make sure they didn't miss a bunch, because obviously they are missing a bunch. And if you get off the internet and talk to real people, everybody already knows. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting year, I think, because on one hand, the people know, and on the other hand, you have got this massive, inverted totalitarian, technocratic government and private corporations operating hand in hand, in tandem lockstep, to manipulate and control the public commons, the square, the place where the debate happens, or what is supposed to be a debate happens. And this is why I deleted my Facebook, because I was tired of being right, speaking the truth, trying to push honest appraisal out into the public commons, only to be rendered unseeable, invisible to most people, and for the tiny, tiny fraction of the population that are hopelessly brainwashed by this, telling me that I'm wrong, and then logging onto their alternate accounts to also try and tell me that I'm wrong, to make me think that more people believe that than actually do. The last polls that came out, if you know how to look at each demographic and each percentage in each demographic and find out how much each demographic actually constitutes of the overall population, you will find that over 50% have called shenanigans. And we're talking people. We're not talking counties or states, or we're talking people. Over half, that's a majority, have called shenanigans. So, watch the news if you want, but you know you've been shown enough times. You cannot pretend that you don't realize that they're completely lying. Smear campaigns and disinformation, spurious use of quotes around certain words to make it sound less legitimate. Framing. You know that when the mainstream media intentionally frames things to the negative to attempt to delegitimize an idea, that there is probably something legitimate there. And if you're willing to believe what these clowns are saying on the news, then not only are you part of the problem, but you are hopelessly broken up here. Irreparably damaged. Over half of the people know. Over half. Well over half, I'm sure. Even the ones that are afraid to say anything. And you've got one completed examination, shall we say, and you've got one just starting up, and the one just starting up is already like, red flags all up in it. Something ain't right. Same time, you've got another state is planning to go around using the state police to door to door find out who doesn't believe that it was legit and attempt to arrest and or prosecute them. And then you've got yet another state that the state senate is saying, okay, counties, it's time to start taking a look. And then you've got the state secretary and attorney general and governor saying, now, counties, don't listen to your lawmakers. When that state senate says to do something, just don't. These are not the actions you would see from elected officials, from the people tasked with orchestrating the election process of the people, our basic democratic process of selecting leaders and representation. If it was above the board, if it was on the level, if it was in fact the, how did they put it, most secure ever. Am I the only one that feels like this has just been like opposite day every day since November? I can't be the only one.